Hola gamers and welcome to Pixel Bodega. Happy Pride weekend, guys. It's Pride here in New York City this weekend, and it's also my birthday today. A fun fact before we get into the video, when I was a kid, my mom had a group of friends that would always come to visit for Pride weekend. Sometimes they stay for the whole week so that they could go to the Pride parade and bar crawls and other Pride events. And me being a little kid and the little narcissist that we are when we're young, I used to always think, wow, I'm so lucky that everyone always visits for my birthday. In any case, this is my love letter to Pride. I am a huge fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show and wanted to get them into my game. I am not the greatest at getting celebrity likenesses, but I am putting references on the screen so you could see. I can't be movie accurate because we just are limited with the items we have currently in early access. That's why I'm only doing the core 3. I could never get Columbia's outfit based on what we have in the game right now, but I tried my best to at least get their essence as opposed to being movie accurate. With Janet Weiss, played by Susan Sarandon, I thought it was very important to get those big doughy eyes that Susan Sarandon had in her younger years, and I think I did a good job at that. Her hair goes through various iterations here, but I think the final hair we settle on is really good. I don't know how to fix these Para's necks. I mean, her neck is pretty brolic for Susan Sarandon's character, right? I'm not, judging anyone who might have a wide neck like this. But I didn't want to make her head too big to compensate for the size of her neck. But you guys let me know if there was something I missed on how to fix and adjust the neck for the paras. I know we can adjust the heights, which I do later, but this was the best I could do for her head shape and neck. The hair was pretty difficult for me to get. Like I said, I change it multiple times, but I moved on to that from that to work on her body shape and to get this character in her skivvies because it's important for the film. Now, I am sorry to whoever this para is based off of. I know that the Paralives team based these random paras on their Patreon subscribers. So I hope I changed the face enough and the body enough so that you don't feel like this is you anymore and you don't feel weird about being in your underwear. But this is no longer you. This is Janet Weiss, and she needs to be in her underwear. I'm gonna preemptively apologize for whoever Brad and Frank's paras are based off of also. I did put on a gold chain to represent Janet's iconic Janet necklace. She wears it throughout most of the film. The only scenes where she doesn't have this necklace on is in near the end in the floor show. There's a lot of water involvement after the initial floor show. And really, this film was recorded in less than 6 weeks. So my guess is that they just lost the prop. This is not her final hair. This hair was too straight for Janet, too long, and nothing in this film is too straight. So, not even Brad Majors. So, we will change that later as well. Now, I wouldn't call myself a super fan or stan. I don't believe in stan culture, but I am a big fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So much so that my best friend and roommate freshman year of college would go every Friday night to the midnight screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show in our college town, and we would go with our props and participate. I think we even subbed in for the actors at some point. I have vague memories of us playing Magenta and Columbia. So yeah, I am a big fan, but I would never say I'm a super fan of anything. I thought that I was able to really get the essence of Janet's main outfit here with this layered piece, with these layered pieces. The Sims 4 could never, right? I wish I could have gotten a little bit of that gingham print in here somewhere, but that's okay. I think the outfit does represent Janet pretty well. I tried to get her white chunky Mary Jane heels, but the heels in this game were just a little too spiky, and these white Mary Jane flats were too orthopedic. So I went again, going for essence, not screen accuracy. I went with the ballerina flats because they did have a strap, even though it wasn't a Mary Jane style. I think it fit Janet's character a little better. Her character is supposed to be representing this virginal, precious, straight-laced character at the start. She doesn't end that way, but that's who she is when she enters the castle. And so I think I got the essence of that making her outfits. And this final hair, what I liked about it was the length and the volume of it, the fact that it was layered, but there weren't any like loose curls. For the lab coat, I thought this coat was an awesome fit for that lab coat. And Brad gets that same lab coat also. So I took my time on Janet because she was kind of like the baseline test. Once I figured out what I was doing with her outfits, then it was easy to kind of copy paste onto the other two characters because a lot of the looks are the same. This is the floor show outfit, which we don't have a standalone corset, but this corseted top is a really good pairing for that. I thought that the sleeves could represent the big fluffy boa that they wear during the floor show. When it came to the floor show makeup, I went back and forth between the sheet mask and this clown face paint. I feel like the clown face paint, I was leaning more towards that one, but when I removed the red lip, that outline was still there. So I didn't like that. So I went back and put on the sheet mask, which I think worked out better in the end because I was able to put in her mascara and the red glittery lipstick, and it worked well. I used this sheet mask for Brad as well and for Furter for his floor show. And yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. To treat me for my birthday, my husband took me to the Broadway show of this currently in New York City at Studio 54, and it was amazing. We didn't see Juliette Lewis, which is an understudy curse that my mom passed down to us, but usually I love the understudy anyway. Understudies are trained Broadway actors, so oftentimes they are better on stage than the Hollywood stars. And I don't know how Juliette Lewis would have been as Magenta, but her understudy was amazing. Bravo. And it was a good show. They have extended the show to November near the end of November, I think, somewhere in the 20s. I can't remember the date. But my husband took me on Father's Day because that was supposed to be the last showing. Even though it was his day, it was the closest showing to my birthday. And I want to thank my husband for such an awesome gift. If you are in New York City or gonna be near New York City, I would suggest going since they extended the screenings of the play. And fun fact, a lot of people don't know that the Rocky Horror Picture Show did start as a theatrical play before it was a film. So yeah, here we are working on Brad, and again, I'm just trying my best to get their likeness. I do get Barry Boswick's cleft chin. This came out really well. And when it came to his haircut, I think the hair that this para came with was decent, close enough to Brad's hair in the film. However, it just didn't seem square or straight laced enough, so I went with this kind of Superman curl haircut because it just seemed more, straight laced, like a good old boy that Brad is supposed to represent when he enters the castle. So you let me know if I should have left the original haircut or if this one works better to capture the essence of his character. And again, I'm gonna apologize, but he's gotta be in his skivvies. He doesn't even get a slip. Here I am setting up Brad's main outfit, and I started with the sweater vest, which I think was a really good representation, but because the sweater vest was already considered an outer layer, I couldn't put another jacket on top. So I had to pivot and I went with a blazer vest combo because I could then change the colors of the jacket to represent the sports jacket that he wears in the film. I changed the pocket square to red to represent the emblem that's on his jacket. But I don't know. I don't know which one was a better representation. So you let me know if you like this version or if you like the sweater vest version better. But this is the version that I stick with. Let me know, are you a fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Have you seen the film? Have you gone to a screening of the film and participated with props and the callbacks to the film? I have the DVD copy, so if you're not familiar with the callbacks, I'll let you know that the DVD has both the vanilla clear film without the audience participation, and then there you can add in the audience participation as well. So every theater has their own regional versions of audience participation as well. There is baseline participation, and then there are regional add-ins also, which I think is amazing. But the one in the DVD copy is from the New York City theater on 23rd Street that showed this film for years, and unfortunately I don't think the theater is there anymore. But every Halloween you can find some theater that's showing Rocky Horror Picture Show with audience participation and all of that at a midnight screening, and it's iconic. Like I said, I went through Brad pretty quickly. The only difference for him is that he wears red eyeshadow for his floor show. And I don't remember if I mentioned that this household is in my Steam workshop, so I'll link it down below. I did forget to take Brad's glasses off, but you can do that if you choose to put these into your game. Now, this base para that came was a great base for Frank and Furter. This tall, beautiful woman was athletic built, and she had all these bright, beautiful colors on. Oh, here is where I realized that I messed up on Brad's height. Barry Boswick is pretty tall. So I went back and fixed that, and then I switched to do the iconic tattoo, the boss tattoo. I used the snake head to represent the heart because the snake head is kind of heart shaped, and then I layered this vinyl with the vines underneath. I thought that could represent the dagger, and I was really proud of this tattoo. It worked out really well. I changed the body type, but then I went back to non-binary for this character because Frank is a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania, right? So, and Frank doesn't live in the binary at all. He is fluid with everything. So, um, although his gender is not specified in the film, I thought non-binary worked for Frank. He's an alien from outer space anyway, right? Um, Now, when it came to doing his face, looking back at it now, I wish that I had used that sheet mask and lowered the opacity, but I was wondering like how could I make makeup foundation and I completely forgot about the sheet mask. Um, Frank's makeup is like a white powdery foundation. That's why their floor show foundation is this white cakey makeup. It's supposed to mimic what Frank wears throughout the film, but his isn't white and cakey until the end of the film, near the end of the film with the floor show. So I didn't want it to be heavy until I get to his floor show outfit, but I should have just put on that sheet mask and then lowered the opacity some. But Frank's face does come together once I put the eyeshadow on. When I did the eyebrows, I was really proud of that. Tim Curry has those iconically swooshed eyebrows, but then the hair that I chose kind of covered the eyebrows. So, but this hair was the most accurate uh, hair to represent Frank. So when I get the makeup on his face, it does come together. He does look more and more like Frank as we move forward. But again, we're going for essence, not accuracy. But it was easy to get Frank's outfits together as well because their floor show outfit is what is supposed to mimic his main outfit here. His corset is just more glittery, so I put some texture on it. I didn't forget his pearl necklace and pearl earrings, of course. We know what that pearl necklace represents. But I put a dot texture on, a polka dot texture on, but I think I maybe should have gone a little heavier with the texture for Frank's corset as well. But I gave him these shoes because they were the highest in the game and he deserves different shoes. It's Frank and Furter. He's the boss. He's their master. So he deserves to have different shoes. Now, which outfit am I working on next? I think I do the jacket outfit next. Yes. So this jacket is what inspired me to create the core 3 in Paralives because as soon as I saw this jacket when I was first ever in the Paramaker, I was like, this is Frank's jacket. It's just a sleeveless version of Frank's jacket. So yeah, I loved putting that outfit together. And then I used this long t-shirt for the doctor lab outfits because Frank doesn't wear the bottoms. He only wears the top with his pink rubber gloves when he gets into the science and explaining how he made Rocky and then taking care of dinner. I mean, Eddie. And so, we couldn't make Frank without that outfit. And then next we get to his floor show outfit, which is similar to everyone else's, but now because they look like him, he has to still be different, right? So he gets a red corset and gold glittery gloves instead of the red and fishnet gloves that the other characters get. And yeah, I loved putting these characters together. Unfortunately, with the limited things that we have in the Paramaker right now, I couldn't do the other characters. Could you imagine trying to do Columbia in the Paramaker? But I hope that we could revisit and add to this household or update these characters in a year or two when we have more items. And here our core 3 is doing the Paralives version of the Time Warp. I'm not going to sing the song because your girl does not have the voice for it and does not want to get copyright striked either. If you made it to the end of this video, then you're a real one and you get to call me Pips. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you are a Rocky Horror Picture Show fan. Click the link in the description if you want to get these guys into your game as well. And I'll see you next time. Adios.